Hello, I am Centimus Prime, and for this model kit adventure, I will be putting together the Blokees Transformers Classic Class Bumblebee from the Rise of the Beasts movie. So, starting off, here I have all the parts and stuff from the kit. And yes, I've even pried up. I even tore out. Taken out all the parts from the sprues. Probably not a great idea to mix them all together in one bowl, but whatever. But it should be fine. Going off of how simple it seems to be in the instructions. We have our base plates here. We have this, which we really won't be needing because the batteries are already pre-installed. Here's our stickers. Thankfully no stickers for the kit itself. These are really for the base plates portion. So that's nice. We don't have to worry about adding stickers on, so that's nice. And here's that. I will be pulling the instructions back because I am going to be using them. And with that, let's get this started. So, let's see. Now the first thing I can do is obviously I can go ahead and I guess approximately separate them out somewhat, so that basically spread them out just a little bit so that these parts would be easier for me to pick out as I need them. Okay. I think that should be good for now. And with that, let's pull out our instructions. Here's our parts list. Very nice. And we do have the sprue things. And here are the instructions. Very simple. I am going to be pulling them back. I'm going to be pulling them back off camera so that I'll be able to utilize them. And yeah, let's get this started. Okay, so to start things off, we're going to be working on the torso. And for the torso, we can go ahead and start with our fairly standard Blokees, like a minifigure-esque body, which are pretty standard in not only your class, which not only seem to be standard within your classic class kits, but also we have a body similar to this in our Galaxy version, like smaller kits. The only difference is this one actually has lights and sounds and such. So let's start with the body. So starting off, we have our body. We have this thing, which already has shoulders and such. Interesting. And so what we can do here is we can just pop these ball joints here into the socket joints here in the torso, making sure that these two peg holes are facing forward, like so. So the side with the printing is the side that is facing forward, and we can just pop that into place. All right. Up next, we have a little bit of diversity. So So next up, we have like these two parts, which either one can slide onto these two pegs. But there is a difference between these ones, and one of them you can put on, and the other you can set off to the side. So, and really the only difference between these two parts is that one is just like your torso piece that you would just attach on, and that'll be that. Or you have this alternate piece, which has this extra connection port where you can attach like this blade thing or whatever. You can like attach like blade things or whatever to it. It's like an extra little spot so you can be able to like display this in a like getting impaled pose with your like scourge. So there is that. Because there's really barely a difference here. Like, yeah, this one has a little bit. Yeah, this one has like a tiny bit of extra, little bit of detail. So I guess I'll put this one on, which means I'm not going to be needing this for the rest of the build. So that's it. Okay, so we can just go ahead and attach that to there. Very, very nice. Up next, we take this piece, which is basically like the headlights and grill piece for like a car, for his car mode, and just attach this into these two peg holes right there. Like so. Boom. Like so. Then after that, you take this piece and this piece and basically attach those to the chest. I believe these like connections here connect to there. Very nice. Alright, and the other one just connects onto the other side, like so. And like, this does need to be cleaned up just a tiny little bit, but overall it's okay. Looking pretty good. Next up, we can attach our little bitty bumper pieces. Let's see. Yeah, I believe this one goes on this side, like so. And then I can find the other one. The other one just goes on the other side. Yeah, very nice. Up next, we can take one of these pieces. Yeah, we turn it around. And we connect this piece right here onto there. Oh, yeah, like, looking pretty good. We, of course, connect the other one onto the other side. It's a rather... And there you can start seeing you can see that the chest is forming together rather nicely. Very nice. And I guess we can do this now. We can go ahead and attach our clear ball joint piece into here. Making sure that I'm gonna press that like pops in like so. Make sure it has that satisfying click to it, and there we have that. Very nice. Very nice. Up next, we can attach our wheels to it, I guess. Oh, which wheels do we attach to this? Yeah, I think these ones. So I think we attached these wheels onto the back and not these ones. Okay. So what we do is we just plug that in, and then we plug in the other one that is like this into the shoulder blade. And there we have that. Looking pretty good. Now, up next we have our door wings. Obviously these door wings with the silver paint on them can go up here. Can be attached like that. And these can swivel around. Very nice. The other one goes like that. And this one plugs into this lower one like so. And then this one gets plugged into here like so. And there's even an extra little peg to like where this thing can go. Yeah, very nice, very gruesome. Very interesting, I guess. Very nice, very cool. Very cool. And with that, I believe that's it for the torso. We can then work on what the instructions call the crotch. We basically we can then bring in our very familiar looking crotch piece. And for this one, we can plug our 2 armor pieces onto here. Boom and boom. I believe this is the part that is facing forward and the other is facing back. Going off of what the instructions look like. Actually, no, maybe this is the front. That's the back. Yeah, going. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, this is definitely facing forward and this is facing back. Okay. So we can set that off to the side, and now let's work on the arm. Yeah, why not? So for the arms, we have our shoulder pieces, which are very similar to the like Galaxy version ones. But these ones have little peg things up here at this side here instead of the 2 smaller pegs on the sides like here. So there is that. Let's work on the right arm first. Why not? So for the right arm, let's see. For the right arm, we have this part, which I believe is for the left arm. Where'd the other one go? Need the other one for the right arm. Did I accidentally drop it somewhere? Oh, no, it's here. Derp. Okay, so after that, we can go ahead and plug this into here. Very nice. After that, we can do a very familiar step. Connect one of these pieces with one of these pieces. Form those together. Attach those together to form the shoulder. Not the shoulder, the elbow. Yeah, very nice. So this gets plugged into the bicep. So yeah, so like there are parts of the construction here that is very similar to the simpler Galaxy version ones. So that's interesting. Then after that, we can attach this piece onto the other end. And yeah, that's a rather thinner arm. After that, we can take... Yeah, after that, we can take this one, which is a mirrored version of the other one. So we grab this one and basically plug this into here, which is rather interesting because you're going to slide this part into this mushroom peg as you're tapping it in. So that's an interesting connection for a static detailed piece, and that looks pretty good. These parts appear to be identical. Let's try attaching this one onto this forearm. Let's try the other one. Maybe the other one will fit a little bit. Not entirely sure if those are mirrored or not. To me, these look identical, but for all I know, they might be mirrored. Then after that, after that we can start work on the hands. So we have our fists, we have our various wrist pieces. Those are to the head, shoulder pieces. Those are other armor pieces. So for the fist one specifically, there are these, I believe there are these ones, which I believe are identical for the mirrored fists, so we should just plug these in, and yeah. Okay. And we just do that for the other one. No, wait, that's not... Hold on, doesn't it require it? Let's see. We have these wrists. We also have these wrist armor pieces. Boom. And what do we get for the hands? Huh. That's for the other. I believe that's for the gun. Huh. Okay, so apparently there's two sets of hands, a pair of fists and a pair of open hands, but there's only one pair of these armor, wrist armor pieces. Not really sure about that. That's an odd choice, but oh well. We attached these onto here, and attaching them to the hand is very similar. I guess I'll just use the left hand as a demonstration, open hand. So it's very similar to that. You just plug it in, and the thumb doesn't get in the way. It's basically very simple stuff going on. And they're very switchable. These are identical. and they can go on any hand. So that's neat. So we can just, of course, plug this in. Very nice. Then after that, we can then go ahead and build the other arm. Exactly mirrored from the first. And I'm just going to attach this hand separately. And there we go. We have an open hand and a closed fist. And I guess if you want to switch out your hands, you just pull it out, take off the armor piece, put the armor piece on the hand that you want to put on, and just put that on there, which isn't too bad. It's definitely not how the mod word done the Xenon does it, but it's not bad. Which means we are gonna need to set these off to the side. And there we have our arms. So putting those on there. And now let's work on the legs next, I think. That sounds... of course I'll set these parts off to the side, because this part off to the side because we won't be needing it. And these parts off to the side because we won't be needing those till the end. And I guess this part off to the side because it's probably just a spare piece. And these parts because they're not really used for any of the builds. Alright, so before we start on the leg real quick, I'm going to put together the other ones of these for the legs. Very nice. They're rather simple construction. I don't mind it. And it's a rather sturdy connection. Is it? Yeah, very nice. And with that, let's now work on the legs. So for the legs, we have... Oh! Huh. So I'm going to need to take these off. Disconnect these. Let's see. I'm going to do that real quick. My bad. Okay, so thankfully these parts aren't easy to take apart. These joints aren't easy to... So thankfully these joints are easy to like take apart. So that's nice. So apparently, instead of just connecting these together, you take this side with the hole connection and attach it to this part with the peg connection. Well, let's see. Yeah, you just connect it like so. That is interesting. I did not expect that into here. And let's go ahead and just do that again with this one. And these parts are identical, so you don't have to worry about mixing these up. But man, that's interesting, which means we're probably going to have to set these off to the side as well. But with that, let's now go ahead and continue on with the leg. So I guess we'll start with the left leg, I guess. Let's see. So the left leg uses this part, which means we're going to have to connect this piece onto here. And then Then what do we do next? Oh, okay. So we have our little thigh armor, which will take this one that has this side onto this leg. Just tap that in and plug that in like so. Okay. Then after that, we'll plug our lower leg into there. This is some interesting stuff. After that, we can then start working on the foot. I believe both feet are identical. There's a lot of parts in here that are thankfully identical, so I don't have to really worry about mixing the feet up. So what we can then do is take this foot armor piece and slide over this foot base and plug that in. After that, we take one of these pieces. And use what I'm now calling the Blokees side peg connection, which is basically this sort of connection, these sort of side pegs connectors here, and they just like slide into these grooves into the other part. I have noticed that Blokees kits do utilize this quite a bit in their Galaxy version kits, and apparently it's also present here. So I'm now calling it their I'm now calling it the Blokees side peg connection, and so just connects them like so. Very nice. And after that, we can go ahead and plug the foot into this ball joint, which is, ooh, this is nice. Well, the parts shift in here. Okay, and yeah, and for the left leg, we can then attach the wheel and plug it into this ball joint, and then we'll take one of these silver circular parts and attach it to the other ball joint. So now both of these are on ball joints, but they're more so there to make room for the articulation rather than anything posability wise. We are going to need to keep an eye out for make sure the tire doesn't come off. But yeah, very, very nice. That's cool. And then after that, we take... Okay, so the shin armors appear to be the same as well. And so the shin armor just slides into the leg. Does it plug in, or does it? Okay, it slides in further than that. Okay, and that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, yeah, that looks nice. And then after I have that put together, I can then, of course, mirror that build, and now we have the legs done. Oh, what a nice leg, what a oddly satisfying leg build. That is something I've noticed with these Blokees figures. Or from the satisfying click of these shin armor pieces. Just listen to that. Very, doing that again. Very satisfying. To how smooth how nicely the parts fit together. Yeah, this is a nice and satisfying. I've noticed that for Blokees figures, like, to me, like, the legs are, like, the most satisfying part of the build for some odd reason. And I do think that's, like, rather nice. It's a rather nice, like build. Very neat. But with the legs done, we can now work on other things, like we can work on the... Let's see, what do we have next? Not a whole lot, actually. There's another Scourge part, which can, of course, be set off to the side. Let's see, what else? These parts are to the gun, I believe. Oh, okay. Up next, we can do the head next, which is pretty simple. We take this, like, sort of brain module piece. We take Bumblebee's face, attach it to the front of this part, like so. We plug that in. Boom. Looks very nice. Up next, we can attach the sides onto here. So, like, this side gets plugged into, this part gets plugged into on that side. This part plugs into the other side. Boom. Bada boom. And then the top of the head gets plugged, well, into the top of the head, obviously. Ah! Got it. Let's see. Very nice, and it's a connection that fits okay. Whoop! Slid off again. So that is the connection of the head, but let's see if I can try to ease it in a little bit more. Well, I ease it in on that side a little bit more. Let's see if I can just for this side. Okay, yeah. That looks pretty good. That's cool. That's nice. I think that's as far as I'm gonna get that in without accidentally, like, breaking something. With that, I'm not seeing these in the instructions, so I am gonna set these off to the side. And the last parts are the I believe are the gun pieces, which we can just attach to these parts. So these two gun pieces attach like so. Boom. Like so. And then this yellow piece just plugs into these two holes up here. Like so. And then there's our gun, which we can swap out with yeah, I guess either arm can have this. So, like, we can take, like, one fist off, and we can just plug this onto here, I believe, and then we make sure we rotate it and fit the part on. Unless these two parts actually don't need to be separated. Let's just connect those back for a second and just... Oh yeah, these parts totally don't need to be separated. Okay, so that's a bit more convenient. Strangely, even I didn't think that I didn't think that this part would not need to be removed or something, because it looked like it was wrapped around the arm. So that's oddly more convenient than switching out the hands, but whatever. That's nice. And with that, let's now get into the final assembly. So, for our final assembly, we can attach the legs, clip the legs onto the pelvis, making sure it's nice and locked in, nice and tight. Do the same with the other side. That had a way more satisfying click. Let's see if this one, we can get this one to... There we go. Very nice. That looks pretty. That looks awesome. Then we'll remove, then I guess we'll attach the arms onto here. So let's show you like a good image of this. Let's just plug that in. Very nice. And plug this in on the other side. Oh, very cool. That looks nice. Plug the head in. A bit more tight than I would probably like. I'm sure it'll loosen up a little bit over time. But I am worried that I might accidentally break off his like little ears or antenna. Oh, okay, that's just a tire. Oh, good. I thought I might have accidentally broken it or something. That wouldn't have been too good. See, I'm not sure how I feel with the tightness of the heads. Like a neck joint doesn't need to be this tight, especially not the translucent one. Yikes. Cool. And then after that, we can just remove this piece and plug the two halves together, and there we have, and with that, here we have the classic class Bumblebee all like put together and all put together and ready to go. Yeah, so this was fun. This is fun. The building process was rather fun. It was rather interesting. Very nice. There are parts of the build that are very much like your like Galaxy version, like mystery box, like sort of mini kits. But this one was like slightly more complex. Yet not like it's like a more pleasant type of complex, not like the type of complex that's rather irritating. Is that a type of complex that I like you'd like to see out of? Is that like complexity you'd like to see that like brings out more like a smaller, more integrate like details, smaller, more specific details. Very nice. It looks pretty good. The building process was rather fun. Oh, before I forget, we can also put together the base plates and take our fire effect pieces and just plug them onto like whatever like connection port I can plug into on either side. You can plug them in like that. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks nice. And of course you can add the stickers onto here, onto the base plate to make it that extra bit of, to bring out the extra bits of detail. But personally, I'm not going to be doing that in this video. I'm not quite happy with this overall. And yeah, like this is a rather, this is like, yeah, like this is like a rather fun like model kit experience. The parts, of course, can come off this, can of course snap off the sprues rather easily, even without the cutters. And yeah, this is actually pretty fun. Like overall, like it felt like it felt like this, but even like it felt like this, but even more like complex. It felt more, yeah, this felt more like a model kit than this did. So that's nice. Overall, I'm very happy with the building process and how everything came together. It was a rather fun building experience. And of course, I'm not. And as for the Bumblebee figure himself, I'm going to be covering this figure I'm going to be covering this kit as a whole in a separate video. But as far as the building process goes, this is rather fun. This is rather a fun and entertaining one. And yeah, I can't wait to. And yeah, like, yeah, a rather satisfying entry to this model kit adventures series of model kit adventures. And with that, I think that'll be it. I think that'll be it for this video. If you enjoyed these model kit adventures, consider to like and subscribe, and maybe even comment if you want. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later.